All right, ladies and gents, I am continuing to prepare for the Corona zombie apocalypse. I even have canned meat. Lucky me. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is how do you influence government? We talked about these state reps, we've talked about the governor, you've talked about congressmen and all that, but how do you interact with them as a citizen? Um, there's some subtleties to this. So first of all, how could you contact a congressperson or a state rep or anybody? You can call them. That's always a good one. In New Hampshire, for your state representatives, at least they're probably local members of your community, so you could probably go and talk to them. Their districts are incredibly small. I was going to say it's. I think one rep to 3 or 4 thousand people. They're a very small number. So you could do that. Probably not going to work with federal Congress people or state senators and that kind of thing. So you have calling, you have visiting locally. You could write an email. That is definitely a possibility. Or you could write a letter. Keep in mind, most of these people are going to be older than you. Um, the ones I have talked to have generally told me that they pay closer attention to the letters than anything else. That really gets their attention, writing an old school letter. So it depends on how seriously you're taking it. If you want to just get your opinion heard, sure, write an email. If you really want to make sure somebody's paying attention to you, the letter's probably the better way to go, or the telephone call, depending. So let's talk about what happens with those letters and telephone calls. Now, will your telephone call usually get through to a federal congressman or a federal senator? No, you're going to get a member of their office. What their office is going to do is keep tabs on who calls, who writes letters, who writes emails, and what they're writing about and what their opinions are, and then hand a summary sheet to the congressman or senator. That's generally how that goes. Little different with state reps and senators in New Hampshire. There is a much better chance that your letter is going to end up on their desk. Um, so that's something to keep in mind. What should be included? All right. First things first, obviously, what's your problem? What's your issue? What do you want them paying attention to? Your name. God, I hope you figured that out. Where you live. Why is where you live important? Where you live is important because they need to know that you're one of their constituents, that you are a member of the group that votes for them. If I write to Bernie Sanders with a complaint, he's not going to take it nearly as seriously as if somebody from Vermont did because I'm not one of his constituents. So that's a very important thing. Date, time, your address, how to get in contact with you. Those are always important things because sometimes they may want to ask you more questions about it. That is extremely important. The other thing is don't blow them away with pages and pages and pages here. Most of these letters should be a few paragraphs, succinct to the point and polite, and that's it. And that would go for an email too. Don't try and impress them with how smart you are by writing 10 pages. Most of the time, they're going to lose interest after the first two paragraphs anyway. But if you write a short, succinct, to the point, and polite letter or email, you're much more likely to be listened to. All right. So if you look at this, I think you can figure out who represents you in the U.S. House. I don't think I need to tell you. Their contact information. They've got a website. Go find it. Who represents you in the U.S. Senate? Same thing. Who represents you in the New Hampshire State House of Representatives? Same thing. There's websites. Who represents you in the state Senate? Again, same thing. The websites have everything. Go find them. So number 7, what is an issue that matters to you enough to bring before one or all of your representatives? That's a question you need to answer because that's going to tie into your letter writing assignment. What issue do you care enough about? Do you think is important enough that you want action from your representatives? That's what I want you writing on this letter. And then finally, what happens to letters or email once it gets to your office? We talked about that. It usually goes into an assistant who keeps tabs on what's going on. But anyway, getting back to this letter assignment, I've given you a sample to work on. That'll give you a format. Think about what issue is. It does not need to be more than 2 or 3 paragraphs. Any more than that, you're probably overdoing it. But make sure it is short, to the point, and explains why your issue is important. Okay? If you have any problems with this, please contact me. I am here really I'm available most times. So just get a hold of me and I will happily help you out. All right. Thank you very much.